This is Sybert signing into Magmageddon. We're here a lot, and we got some more familiar names in this game. In the top left-hand corner, this is Saline, the Yellow Empire. As the Orange Allies, this is IsMail. As the Blue Soviets, this is Grey 2. I don't know what happened to Grey 1, but that's Grey 2. Maybe it's Grey 2.0. The Upgrade, the new and improved. As the Purple Empire, this is Flode. And this is left versus right, so this is team number 2. As the Red Empire, this is GreekGift. And in the south, as the Green Empire, this is 9-track. 9-track GreekGift flowed into 3 Empire players right out of the gate. And then, of course, over here, Soviet, Allies, Empire. So it is a fully unified Empire team, Team Empire all the way, against the perfect racial balance. And we will find out which one is supreme. 9-track busting out the moves. This is what we just saw cause a lot of problems for Alcatraz in the last game. We got some extra walls popping up here from Grey 2. So Grey 2 knows the name of the game with the walls and also with the early stingrays. This seems to be something that we've seen a couple of times in 3v3 specifically. It happens more in like team games, but, fast 3 refineries from Saline. But this really fast, 4 or 5 stingrays that players do in team games, I don't see it in 1v1s. It doesn't make as much sense as a strategy, but it seems to make a decent amount of sense as a strategy in team games. And, the engineer does get it! The dog! You guys saw that! The dog locked the engineer down with the distance of the bark, but he couldn't get through. That was a perfectly timed little move there, and the dog got eliminated by the Imperial Warrior after the Javelin Trooper killed the barracks. So that was just like a lovely little what are the chances arrangement of things. You know, it's like a bunch of unlikely things to have happen. But all perfectly timed, and it just was a lovely little moment for us all to enjoy there. And yes, I am recording. Better make sure that after, a mild coincidence like that happens, that you've captured it for everyone to see. Stingray is going to be pushing out the 4 Stingray hit squad, and, it looks like Saline will not be able to get a sneaky capture of their opponent's oil derrick up here in the north. Nothing like that just yet. A little bit of harassment of GreekGift, and this is not a sneaky, this is not the same harassment we thought it was. We thought it was just a couple of Tengus, but it's actually indeed going to be a sudden transport with tank busters, killing that harvester and then escaping on out of there. 3rd refinery up and running. It looks like even, nope, not quite 4th refinery, but 9-track with those 3 refineries up and running. The Riptide going to be doing a little bit of poking from IsMail, going to be trying to do some damage, not necessarily finding anything. 1 Stingray does go down. Not sure what to what. I don't think it was that dog. Harvester harassment by FlodeinTo. Saline able to deal with that pretty easily, and for now, that harvester can get back to work. A little bit damaged, but still able to get a paycheck. FlodeinTo now with the harassment once again into the middle of the map instead of in the north to his opponents. And always harvester harassment is a bit of a gamble. You never want to trade too many Tengus. In a team game, snowballing can be a real problem. As you can see, GreekGift, he is going heavy into the Tengus, and if you give too many of them away, unsuccessfully harassing your opponent, you can really end up in these team snowball situations, which, it happens in 1v1s as well. I don't know, it feels like 1v1s there might be more opportunities to play well because you only have to worry about one person. Maybe that's not quite right, but that's how it feels. Apollos from IsMail getting eliminated. Vindicators from IsMail getting eliminated. GreekGift doing a great job of keeping the skies clear. IsMail going to be trying to hold off this group of Imperial Warriors with just a Riptide in the middle of the map. I think the Riptide will be okay, but we'll check in just a moment. More Tengus going to be powering out, and more Stingrays in the south from Grey. Down to about half health, and there are still too many Imperial Warriors, so that will not be okay. Grey cancels the sentry gun, so actually these Imperial Warriors are going to be just fine. IsMail drops a multi-gunner turret, and let's go take a look at these Stingrays over here. Walls galore. 9-track and GreekGift, big believers in the wall. A little bit of damage done to that Harvester, and these Tengus taking a bit of damage from those Bullfrogs. The flak guns on them shredding those Tengus just a little bit there. Saline losing a couple of Tengus over their own main base almost, as FlodeinTo is looking for every bit of damage that they can get. 3 more Tengus will end up going down the Apollos, and Saline's Tengus going to be joining forces, and that worked really well in that last game that we watched. Is this Tank Buster going to get... Yeah, he does get eliminated there by the Vindicator. The last bomb of that Vindicator going to be killing off that Tengu. Looks like FlodeinTo was able to grab at that oil derrick after trying to do it earlier in the game and being unsuccessful. This is a lot of Tengus. You do not want to stick around there, and the Apollos get on out of there. IsMail doing a good job of keeping his Apollos alive, at least for now. We'll have to see if there's another engagement with the Tengus a little bit later on. It's going to be mass harassment here, and nope, just one Tengu on the transform. The rest of them are just going to watch their buddy shoot that Harvester slowly but surely. And it looks like FlodeinTo may have lost a refinery out there to Saline's Yari mini-subs. This is so many Tengus from Saline, and it looks like everything else has been sent out to the water. GreekGift, rather, on the harassment path. Going to be able to kill the Harvester, maybe even get the refinery before anything shows up to defend it from Saline. While in the south, the MCV is on the move. This didn't work in the last game. We'll have to see if it works now. A Shogun Battleship trying to charge that MCV. It didn't quite work out, and also that Twin Blade trying to save the MCV, but that didn't quite work out either. Tengus clashing in the top left-hand corner of the map. Even a multi-gunner turret getting a couple of shots off here. The refinery did go down. The Harvester did go down. And that is going to be it for GreekGift. He's going to try and cut out of there. FlodeinTo now going to be the one harassing that location, trying to put a little bit of damage on the War Factory. I don't know that that'll actually end up killing the War Factory. I think the defense is going to be a little bit too solid. Not a lot of progress made by FlodeinTo. They keep trying to do all of this stuff, but they're just unable to break Saline. They're keeping Saline in their base, and as we've seen in some other games, keeping an opponent busy, keeping them in their base, and stopping them from aiding their allies or helping their allies. Sometimes that is enough to turn the tide in a game. 2 Bullfrogs given away for free there. GreekGift gobbles them up and now is going to be going for the Stingrays. But the Tengus are getting caught on themselves. The geometry in Red Alert 3 is just absolutely wonderful. There are so many problems with trying to path around units and objects in this game. It's so clunky that they get caught on themselves. Shogun Battleship going to be getting toxined directly, and it looks like the Tier 3 or the airfield did go down. The airfield getting eliminated there, so no more Twin Blades, at least out of that airfield. There might be another one. Saline now going to be on the warpath. Saline has got a little bit of free space, and what do they do with it? Well, they start attacking their opponents, so now suddenly GreekGift is the one being harassed, the one losing Harvesters, and the one having to kill an MCV to keep their base safe. As Gray loses their MCV, the Crane most likely constructed somewhere out on the map so that they can keep around. No, it looks like Gray may be broken. Yeah, Gray is pretty much dead and gone now. No MCV. Tried to play really aggressive, but without a way for GreekGift's Tengus to be dealt with, and with Gray being pretty much out of this game, it's going to be really difficult for the team on the left side to bring this back. It's a cute move, but once this naval yard goes down, that is pretty much it for Gray 2. I'm not sure that he has literally anything else on here. IsMail, we haven't seen him in a while. He has been cleaning up this refinery, cleaning up that mecha bay as well. And it looks like for now, he's not actually going to get the mecha bay. Indeed, those Guardian tanks will be able to, will not be able to withstand that much DPS. Well, well, no, the naval yard still went down. So the conclusion is a barracks and a barracks. So engineers, yeah, that's the name of the game. Not a whole lot else going on for Gray. He has so much cash, he may actually want to either sell those refineries and tell his opponents to take them, or leave the game and leave the refineries to his allies. Because IsMail, you know, with the power of allies, IsMail with the, 8 refinery economy that this would give him, that might actually be worth it right there. Just get all of that economy into IsMail's pocket, although I guess it could end up going to Saline. Then Saline is kind of in an awkward position. But they'd have lots of cash to try and build lots of Tengus. Going to be going for the naval yard. I assume this is the Tier 3 naval yard that 9-Track was building the Shogun battleships out of. GreekGift is going to be the one defending. Ooh, well, it was a nice attempt there. It's too bad that these two Stingrays were grouped together when he just slapped F and mass overcharged all of those Stingrays. Could have done a bit more damage to those Tengus, and actually it looked like GreekGift took a lot of damage from that, so that may have cleared the skies pretty well there. FlodeinTo going to be defending their Chopper VXs, but not quite well enough. A couple of heroic Tengus mixed into this army for Saline, and Saline does barely save that one Tengu, but then the other two end up going down. And 3 Tengus versus this whole crowd of Tengus from FlodeinTo means FlodeinTo is going to have a pretty easy time keeping all of that stuff alive. Athena Cannon, one Athena Cannon from IsMail, going to be able to snipe this ore refinery. I think GreekGift just transformed a bunch of Tengus. Yeah, he was waiting for those Tengus to be on cooldown. The Athena Cannon gets eliminated, but hey, that refinery is already dead, and Yuriko is now out on the field. So we have got some potential big damage-dealing problems that 9-Track can inflict upon his opponents. This is so many infantry. This is where Gray has been dropping all of his money, and look where it's getting him, not very far. Imagine if this was like tanks or anything from IsMail instead of just hundreds of infantry that are getting crushed by these tanks from FlodeinTo. Now, FlodeinTo and GreekGift joining forces, the Super Empire team, Tank Busters, Tengus, and Tsunami tanks, the Triple Ts, all meeting together to attack IsMail and Gray 2 there in the middle of the map. Big transform of all of those Tengus, which means these other Tengus are going to be able to escape, at least for now. Actually going to be a reverse transform there, where you have fewer Tengus, but you still choose to engage. He's got repairs, he's got point defense drones, and he may actually be able to take this out. The repairs are so good in this situation, and 2 Tengus left versus 3 Tengus of Saline. So FlodeinTo, rather, going to be losing in that Tengu battle. Back in the middle of the map, Athena Cannons versus Tsunami tanks and Tank Busters. A couple of Mirage tanks are nice, but a couple more would have been even better. Once again, Gray is just not doing all that much, but IsMail may be able to capture a lot of these units. No, the Cryoblast isn't good enough to totally stop the attack, but a couple of these Tank Busters will end up going down basically for free. And hey, if that hands off some extra veterancy status to this Mirage tank, then that's going to be good. Unfortunately, most of the Tank Busters do manage to escape, unfortunately for IsMail, but fortunately for GreekGift. And it looks like a little bit of juggling going on here. Not quite perfect juggling. There we go. That's pretty close to perfect juggling for a moment there. And no, it's not going to be good enough. These Tengus will get the kill on either Yuriko or on the sudden transport, or both. You got to hand it to Saline, able to pull that one out, and 9-Track not quite able to juggle perfectly. I actually don't know. Maybe XYHC knows this. But what the limit for juggling with Yuriko is, because it must be maybe 4 vehicles, maybe, and I guess that really depends on their DPS. You could probably juggle more tanks than Tengus. This is so many Tsunami tanks from FlodeinTo and a couple of Tengus to boot, just to add a little more DPS to this situation. IsMail with 2 multi-gunner turrets going to try and defend Saline, but Saline has almost nothing of their own to defend against this huge attack as the Tsunami tanks just shred everything if they want to. They're kind of driving past some of this stuff, but they're going to be able to finish shredding that war factory, and they can get the refinery as well. The Harvester goes down. Infantry armies once again stepping forward, even going to be a Stingray mixed into this army, as these Tengus may actually be able to clean that up. A fully heroic Stingray just barely going down there to FlodeinTo's Tengus. And an extra Tsunami tank is going to go for a couple more crushes. Once again, it's like Gray has all of his units with some kind of bounty if they get crushed. They just do not die any way other than crushing by these guys on the right side of the map. Saline loses their MCV. No more economy, no more expansions, no more war factory for you. There's going to be an engineer for IsMail. I'm not sure what this guy is supposed to be doing. I don't know if he was hoping he could capture his allies' building. I assume you can't heal your allies' building that way. That would be nuts if you could. And Barrack's going to be getting eliminated by the Athena Cannon of IsMail. IsMail doing a lot of good, but Saline has been defeated. Everything gets handed over to Gray, and Gray is basically already dead, so I'm not sure how much good that's actually doing for Gray. It's just going to be up to IsMail, and IsMail has been the one taking the least amount of damage over on the left side of the map. We saw 9-Track and GreekGift doing a fair bit of harassment over on that left side of the map. I guess FlodeinTo was also doing a good bit of harassment as well up in the north. But no one's really been harassing IsMail all that much. IsMail has once again, like our allied player in the last game, just been able to power up, get a bunch of refineries, and move forward with their big army plays. FlodeinTo pretty flush with cash, 5 or 6 refineries spread throughout the map. This Athena cannon is going to go down to those Tengus. Gray was not able to protect it, and that is the nice thing about Gray, is he's got now all of these Tengus under his control, so I don't think there was a war factory or anything. No, it's just going to be just a bunch of cash sent into infantry, and then a couple of extra Tengus that were somewhere around the map when Saline left the game. 9-Track is still in this game, rebuilding a little bit here. Still hasn't reclaimed that refinery over on the left side. That oil derrick still standing for GreekGift. FlodeinTo, definitely a powerhouse in this game. GreekGift has been all but beaten back into almost nothingness. Still has the oil derrick, so still has a little bit of income, probably trying to get a refinery up and running. And once again, 9-Track going to be going with the juggling of that Eureka. This is so many bears from Gray. And Gray has a lot of damage potential. As we can see, a hilarious number of flak troopers heading out across the map. They won't necessarily survive very long, but they have a huge amount of damage potential to put out onto the field. Tengu's going to be turning away from the middle of the map and going over to the extremities, the left side, kind of the infrastructure and the backbone, although these are going to be soon depleted, so they're full income right now, but they won't be for long. This MCV needs to get on out of there, and actually Eureka turns around, and she is actually close enough to kill a lot of those flak troopers, not enough to stop the Tengus, and those flak troopers pretty much all go down, which means this MCV is actually going to be able to escape out onto the water. IsMail, again, the powerhouse player on the left side of the map, putting a lot of damage out, but here comes FlodeinTo's Tengus. He is going to be mounting one kind of a last-step defense, and he should be able to cut through all of the forces of his opponent, eventually dealing with that Athena cannon, but getting the kill on all of those Tengus first. Goodbye, Athena cannon. Keep in mind, this Athena cannon has burned through power plants and barracks and whatever else was it down here for 9-Track. And 9-Track, you know, the Eureka plays are cute. They are really great to see. We all love them. But at the end of the day, how much are you actually doing? Hey, there's that refinery coming on out for GreekGift. And GreekGift can finally get back into this game. Give him another 2-3 minutes. He's going to have 4 or 5 Tengus. Just you watch. Just you wait. He's got a million things that he hasn't built, but he's going to try. And oh my gosh, those bears fortunately dealt with those Imperial Warriors, but that could have been an absolute slaughter with how clumped up all of those flak troopers were to those Imperial Warriors with the swords. And there is going to be balloon bombs in combination with exploding tsunami tanks. Hopefully there are more tsunami tanks for FlodeinTo. I don't know if I agree with using all of your tsunami tanks in that way. If you've got 5 tsunami tanks back at home, then definitely use 3 of them to run forward and get the kills in that way. But if 3 tsunami tanks is all of your tsunami tanks, I'm not sure then that's a great use of your tsunami tanks. Maybe in that case just try 1 or 2 of them and then keep 1 of them back. Ore Harvester attacking a refinery down here in the south part of the map. FlodeinTo basically playing a 1v1.5 as Gray counts as part of a player, but with only infantry to be able to play with. And could go for the super reactor as well. Definitely don't want to trade and just give away Tengus by killing them with the super reactor. But if you can get a couple of infrastructure buildings, really slow down Gray, then that could be, again, a great move. Cryogeddon, but the Apollos are here to catch the Tengus. This is too many Tengus for those Apollos to deal with. Tank Buster Surprise from FlodeinTo will not be successful. Refinery up and running by GreekGift, and again, keep in mind GreekGift can eventually get back into this game. Right now, it's just FlodeinTo keeping his entire team in this game. I mean, 9-Track got beaten back a couple of minutes ago. 9-Track desperately trying to take some kind of normalcy reestablish some kind of normalcy in this game. But, I mean, it's up to IsMail and Gray to try and figure out a way to close this out. They're having a hard time dealing with the surface area, defending all of the places that they're supposed to defend. And IsMail, for the last couple of minutes, hasn't actually had a very impressive army, but IsMail has had success with these Athena cannons. These Athena cannons going forward, putting some big damage on, pulling units out of position, and then, you know, eventually getting eliminated, but always doing a good amount of damage in the process, killing refineries or power plants or what have you. GreekGift and FlodeinTo, a little bit of a tank buster surprise from GreekGift. Most of the damage being done by FlodeinTo, and a couple of extra multi-gunner turrets here from IsMail trying to keep this area safe, but of course they won't quite be able to do it. That refinery is going down. Oh, an additional multi-gunner turret. I was like, something just got built over here, but it's going to be an extra multi-gunner turret. Yeah, a couple of Striker VXs could have cleared this whole base out with the exception of this multi-gunner turret over here, but other than that, you can come right in, kill the harvesters, kill the refineries, and then just call it a day. Tengus going for the harass Apollos, trying to stop the Tengus. 9-track with their own tank buster surprise, and I mean, with 3 players with tank buster surprises, that's 15 tank busters every couple of minutes that you can drop onto the map. Ooh! Striker VX is being given away, trading their lives for those multi-gunner turrets. One more down there, but really, trading their lives for the multi-gunner turrets up here is not a good plan. Those Strikers have so much damage potential if you can just keep them alive. Tank busters from 9-track going for a couple of kills. Won't get the kill on that Mirage tank, it looks like. They did get the kill on the Harvester. Not necessarily going to be able to get the kill on too much else. And going for the kill of the infantry. Gets the barracks, gets a Javelin Trooper, maybe a couple of Peacekeepers as well. All of the refineries in the north from FlodeinTo have been destroyed by FlodeinTo, rather. All of the refineries of IsMail in the north getting cleaned up there. Random multi-gunner turrets. Actually, they are going to change target and start attacking that Chopper VX, so that's actually good for the multi-gunner turret if he would have been able to take out that Chopper VX, but actually it went fully heroic, so he'll get free repairs for the rest of his days. Is this power plant going to block off that multi-gunner turret, which actually means these Yari mini-subs can attack this refinery quite easily. FlodeinTo now with the Shogun battleships finally getting to that Tier 3 Navy, establishing a couple of water expansions, a couple of refineries back home, but having to deal with these Mirage tanks in their main base, and Gray, of course, packing along his patented couple of flak troopers to try and do something. This MCV can just drive forward and get the kills there, but instead it took a huge amount of damage from those flak troopers, barely surviving. This Athena cannon may be able to finish off this MCV. No, the Striker VX does finally target down that Athena cannon and will eventually eliminate it after the Aegis shield wears off. Yari Minisubs once again going for the kill of this refinery over here. They finally do manage to get it. They're going to try and skate on out of there, get on out of dodge, and save themselves. And this is going to be a single vet Chopper VX right there. What a nice little promotion for him. FlodeinTo is now in a pretty good position, actually. Like, we keep seeing all of these big blobs of units moving out from Gray, but once again, Gray has not been able to do very much with them. He's done a little, give him credit where credit is due, a little, but Gray has not been able to accomplish very much with these flag troopers. One thing that they do is put the fear of death into the opponents. I mean, when you see that many flak troopers heading towards your base, they will shred buildings, they will shred just about everything if they get the chance. So you have to deal with the flak troopers, and that is where the strength of Gray has been coming from, is just the threat of death. But now, FlodeinTo has these Shogun battleships, doesn't have a huge amount of economy, but has enough, and I think a couple of these are depleted. Yeah, so a little bit of income, but not as much as he would like. Imperial Warriors getting camped by these bears. More bears going to be showing up. And, of course, Imperial Warriors will slice through those flak troopers. But the MCV is actually going to escape for a couple of more seconds. And like I said, flak troopers will shred stuff if they are given the chance. 2 more Imperial Warriors from the power plant. It's going to be going for the kills, and everything moving together as these stompy Chopper VXs are trying to go for the kills, but they're just not quite able to. And those Imperial Warriors thinning out the flak trooper ranks, but of course, honorable discharge going to be a big killer among those flak troopers as well. A Mirage tank from IsMail shows up just to put a little bit more pressure on this base and on their opponents. The Tsunami tank goes for the kill. He gets the kill of the Mirage tank and then runs over the last couple of flak troopers I think that base may have taken a bit too much damage. If there's a follow-up attack, that may be it for this base. A couple of IFVs going to be running forward. It will take a while to kill these Imperial Warriors, but they will eventually kill them. Shogun battleships now finally going to be dealing with the re-expansion in the north of IsMail. You got to hand it to IsMail. Consistency with a lot of this stuff. He's not been building huge armies. He's not been winning the game just yet, but IsMail has been taking expansions, re-expanding, doing a decent job of defense, and pushes out these little pockets of units. A couple of Athena cannons, a couple of Mirage tanks, able to deal with, put some pressure on his opponents. 9-track, this is what 9-track has been building and spending their money on. As you may have seen over here on the south side of the map, 9-track has been rebuilding. They had their MCV over there, and then they sent it down here a little bit further south, a little bit more into the middle. And we just got to watch the final squadron spawn in from the MCV, which a lot of, or at least some of the support powers do come from the direction of the MCV. Ore refinery is taking a lot of damage, but it did not go down. Shogun battleships have not actually been able to clear out IsMail's refineries. The harvesters, yes, they did go down, but IsMail's refineries did not. Gray, where did this Yari mini-sub come from? Gray, I assume, just had like, yeah, it must have been just a couple of them like spread throughout the map. Actually, I think that's 9-tracks Yari mini-sub. But a couple of Yari mini-subs from Saline spread throughout the map, and what a weird game this has turned into. GreekGift going to be pushing out with the Eureka, and, well, we'll get the kill on that multi-gunner turret. Going to go for a couple of power plants after that, I assume. Although, slap that F key. No, are you kidding me? He messed that up. He messed that timing up. Actually, that might have been a little bit of lag, which is why the Bears killed Eureka as the psionic burst, or psychokinetic burst? I don't remember. As the burst fired off. So that actually may have been a bit of a lag moment where they basically did it at the same time, but the game resolved it at basically the same moment, so both things died in that way. GreekGift, with their own Shogun battleships, and IsMail going to be trying to do something about it. I don't know that he'll actually have time to get anything out of this naval yard. It may just get targeted down a little bit too quickly. Shogun battleships putting the pressure not even on the super reactor, just on the multi-gunner turret. Walls getting eliminated by Mirage tanks of IsMail, while down here GreekGift defends his refinery, defends his expansion. Balloon bombs on top of the power plants, always a good move, and that naval yard was not long for this world. Killing a couple more power plants may kick IsMail functionally out of this game. No defenses, not a lot of production going on for IsMail, and eventually our allied player is going to be forced to buckle as Gray has left the game. And I think the noose is tightening. All of the cutesy little moves, all of the great plays have not been enough to survive. And the result, I think, will be IsMail as the last man standing, but unable to close things up. Couple of Bears over here at the expansion, not necessarily going to be able to do anything, but they do manage to get killed by those Yari mini-subs. And IsMail has been defeated. GG. Flode, GreekGift, and 9-track all surviving to the last minute, but, you know, GreekGift and 9-track, last couple of minutes, not doing as much as their ally was for most of that game. Yeah, check out those structures from IsMail. Just a ton of stuff all throughout the game, and resources probably there as well. Yeah, FlodeinTo and IsMail, clear leaders for most of that game, and then towards the end of the game, IsMail really pushing ahead there. Unable to secure the victory with all that cash, though. 178,000 credits. Definitely a respectable number there for IsMail, but congratulations to FlodeinTo putting out some serious damage on their opponents. Burnt out Paradise in Red Alert 3 for a 3v3 in the north. As the purple allies, this is Dig Life. Their ally is the Cyan. Random allies, this is Abu. And rounding out our first team as the Orange Empire, it's GiantDwarf. Making up team number 2 as the Green Empire, this is YuNo. As the yellow Soviets, this is Vodkamir. And as the red allies, this is GreekGift. Allies, Empire, Soviet versus Allies, Empire. So a little bit of a mix-up of the factions, but a strong allied representation nonetheless, which, you know, isn't wild. A little bit of sneaky move here by YuNo. Did not pull it off, though. Was unable to really get anything done there. A little bit unfortunate. Interesting, Abu drops their airfield over there, which means, of course, their base is going to be mostly empty. They've already moved their MCV down to go ahead and take this expansion, but they've also gone triple Vindicator. Going to be able to, well, clean up one power plant. It does get sold off there. And Abu looking to put some early pressure out. YuNo taking some damage right off the bat. Not really having a moment to rest, you could say. Also, early expand for Dig Life, going to be making use of that Prospector, not something you see all that often. And a couple of Peacekeepers spread throughout the map as well. Dog going to be guarding that oil derrick. Very nice move there by GreekGift, who, nope, this is a dog. I thought maybe that was a Prospector also heading out to the corner expansion to go ahead and get that underway and captured. Tengu from YuNo going to get an easy Vindicator kill. This Apollo nowhere near it to actually get the save of that Vindicator. So now it's going to be two Tengus versus an Apollo, but with micro and repairs, then the Tengus will win in that case. Single power plant down here for Vodka. So, you know, you gotta do the power plant move. One Apollo from GreekGift going to be trying to go up against the Apollos of Dig Life, and somewhat successful, somewhat unsuccessful. Mig gets a couple of shots off, but not quite enough to kill off that Apollo. Ooh, the Tengu clears the dog. GiantDwarf able to secure this oil derrick, keeping the dog away from there, at least for now. Well, killed the dog, and, you know, there's probably not going to be another dog. Grabs the garage as well. Always nice to have a garage. Shipyard on this map as well. Apollos get overwhelmed by YuNo's, well, not quite. One Apollo got overwhelmed. The second one almost got overwhelmed by YuNo's Tengus, as the Tengus do manage to escape. Losses on both sides, but that's to be expected from our Empire player. Garage not captured over here, and it looks like free oil derrick there, and then a shipyard over here. So YuNo kind of slipping on the garage capture, not letting it happen, or not making it happen, and, you know, denying that. I think it's team-wide. It might actually just be the player who captures it, but I think it's team-wide. Those benefits shipyard. Also, there's some team map. Ooh, that Apollo won't escape. Two Apollos down, or maybe an Apollo and a Vindicator, actually, not two Apollos. But there is some team map that has an airport that gives your air units those repairs, which, you know, anytime you're playing allies, that is very useful to have. Abu returning from a bit of a bombing run, potentially. Although with three Apollos, you're not shooting a lot of stuff that's on the ground. Tengus from YuNo going for the harass, and these Vindicators going to be able to clean up at least one of those Tengus on the ground, and the second Vindicator going to clean up a second Tengu. That's a lot of Tengus to trade out for just one measly Prospector. It does slow down your opponent's economy a little bit, but it's not necessarily worth it. GreekGift looking to do a bit more damage with that Apollo. Very nice control by GreekGift. Going to get an extra Tengu kill, and does manage to snipe that Tengu very successfully. One MiG down, but they're going to try and chase these Apollos. Also, these Tengus going to be keeping up with that Vindicator. The Vindicator going here to kill that Tesla Trooper and stop Vodka from trapping this MCV for any longer. Although this entire expansion is about to be sacked, as this Tesla Trooper gets dangerously close to that MCV, locks it down a second time. Vindicator's forced to drop the bombs. I don't know why he stopped doing that, but he did indeed let that MCV unpack, and now he's just going to be trying to zap it to death, which isn't quite going to work out the way he intended. Yeah, he's not going to get an easy kill there. Another Tesla Trooper over there being eliminated, and that multi-gunner turret going to be doing a bit of damage if it at all can. Just hanging out over here in this kind of pathway through the mountains. or through the cliff, rather. Javelin troopers from GreekGift going to be pushed back as the cryo shot fires off, forcing them to retreat. Tengu's going to be moving forward another airfield here for Abu, but unable to keep his Apollos all that safe. Going to be trading out a couple of Tengus, but it's probably worth it, all things considered. Well, maybe not anymore now that he loses 2 more, basically, for nothing. Cryo shot going to be firing off, and you got to hand it to GreekGift, going to be making use of the cryo ability so that YuNo could clear out that multi-gunner turret. This MCV placement is very dangerous for YuNo, bringing the fight right to YuNo's door with a literal multi-gunner turret at the bottom of that ramp. Going to be causing real problems. Apollos step forward. They're going to be taking some damage from the multi-gunner turrets and from that defender core, but they do manage to snag 1 Tengu kill. Not necessarily worth it when you're trading out the Apollos like that. Your opponent probably has more Tengus than you've got Apollos. And 1 Chopper VX does go down the power plant, does survive, at least for now. Tier 3 on the way for YuNo. Tengu's going to be backing on up from that expansion, or from that front door. No Tier 3, it's looking like, at least not just yet, for GiantDwarf, although GreekGift does have that Tier 3, does have... Ooh, that ore refinery survives, which that may be the last free and easy bombing run that those Vindicators get. GreekGift, on the other hand, with that aircraft carrier over here on the right side of the map, going to be getting targeted down by those Yari mini-subs. And he's going to be going for the bombing run directly at his opponent's refinery, so he will get maybe a couple of kills there, but eventually he's going to have to do something about these Yari mini-subs. And it looks like the Yari mini-subs got EMP'd by that aircraft carrier, perhaps by a different one. But, flak cannon down for Vodka, going to be trying to keep those Vindicators away. And Tank Busters, a nice move here by GiantDwarf, going to put Tank Busters in this building to deal with the Assault Destroyer, to deal with the aircraft carrier as well. Cryo shot fires off, Vindicators making a successful bombing run against YuNo. Going to be able to clean up 1 refinery, but that's not going to be enough to stop YuNo completely. Re-expanding to the high ground is Abu, going to be finally maybe securing that expansion, although it may still be under threat. Expansion in the corner, of course, that's where that Prospector was heading a long, long time ago. And that Yari mini-sub is going to be hard-pressed to do much damage with that hydrofoil hanging out with the weapon jammer. And 1 lonely ore collector sent down from YuNo, going to be sending him down to his ultimate death. But the ore collector lived a good life. 1 Yari mini-sub attacking, 1 Yari mini-sub doing nothing, as these Yari mini-subs from GreekGift try to be eliminated, well, rather, by GreekGift, as the... Wow, even the Tank Buster is going to be getting in on the action, really just doing a bit of damage to that Assault Destroyer, trying desperately to stop these Yari mini-subs from doing anything. I don't know if the weapon jammer actually stops them from suiciding. It looked like that's what they were trying to do, but didn't quite end up working. Vodka with a Kirov on the front line, going to be crushing this allied base. And for a second I thought maybe Abu had left the game and this had all been handed over to Dig Life, but no, this is Dig Life stuff. Abu is still in the game, and these Apollos are going to be able to deal with that Kirov just fine, although we do have a fully heroic Wave Force artillery from the high ground, going to be blasting away at these turrets, eliminating them very nicely. This is a lot of Tengus. This is a lot of firepower for GiantDwarf to eventually be able to clear out the Allied Navy, although it may not be for long, as these, well, only 2 of the Tengus actually get frozen, so actually the rest of them do manage to escape, and for now there's no rescue for GreekGift. He does manage to EMP these Tengus, but they're not really too worried about them anyways. I thought he was going to have some kind of follow-up to that cryo shot, but no, there's no reinforcements there to deal with those Tengus and the Yari mini-subs. Once again, the Vindicator's getting good damage off, even an Athena cannon doing a bit of damage to those strikers as they try and clear out the allied presence from that area of the map. Down goes the Assault Destroyer, or the aircraft carrier rather, all the way to the bottom of the ocean, to Davy Jones' locker, if you will. GreekGift going to be dropping a multi-gunner turret, I think from the build radius on the other side of this ridge, and with a little bit of vision there. Actually, Abu, I just realized those are the wrong color. They were attacking the MCV, and so I didn't realize that those were actually Abu's multi-gunner turrets. He's going to be able to target down his opponent's refinery just with multi-gunner turrets from the other side of that rift. More Yari mini-subs, even a cruiser out on the map. A Naginata, or a Naginatana cruiser here on the map. Going to be amping up that Empire Navy. Going to be able to deal with those Riptides very easily. GiantDwarf going to be starting to put some pressure on GreekGift's expansion. And GreekGift, of course, dropping down that multi-gunner turret, which that is, of course, his ally, since the Cyan multi-gunner turrets were not the correct ones. Once again, GreekGift losing this expansion down here in the south, making a couple of runs with those Vindicators, but that shipyard with the free repairs being a huge benefit to this Empire Navy. A definite advantage for our Empire player, GiantDwarf. Another Vindicator does go down. V4s are here going to be trying to smash these multi-gunner turrets, but of course the multi-gunner turrets are basically right next door to a bunch of stuff from Vodka, so Vodka's kind of blowing up his own buildings while trying to preserve his own buildings. Vindicators coming for a bombing run and get the kill on that MCV. It looks like a crane is building the barracks while Tengus deal with the Apollos overhead, and GreekGift barely survives with the one Apollo in the sky, and GiantDwarf crashes and burns on the ground. Cryoblast firing off as this multi-gunner turret deals with that building, and now is going to be able to deal with the expansion. Pretty close to everything here can go down, although it looks like for some reason that Harvester wasn't targeted, which means the build radius can be re-established by Abu pretty easily. This MCV once again on the move. The Athena Cannon's trying to target down YuNo's stuff on the high ground, which does manage to grab an Imperial Warrior there, I think, as 3 V4 rockets slam into the ground and just barely miss that MCV. The build radius going to allow Dig Life to drop a multi-gunner turret that does eventually go down, but the splash damage kills a Bullfrog as well. Athena Cannons from GreekGift. He has given up on land. He has given up on sea, rather. He's given up on air and sea, and he is just going to land with these Athena Cannons and push back GiantDwarf, cutting off his infrastructure and trying to deny his main base, which honestly he could just drive out onto the water. That's where most of his forces actually are, and then just try and dominate the seas as much as he can. On the left side, a hit squad of 5 Dolphins going to be clearing the left side of the map and going to be going for this expansion. This is where the tier 3 for Vodka is, so no more Kirovs, no more V4s. I don't know if he's actually built any Apocalypse tanks, but none more of them either, if that's what he's going for. One Vindicator does manage to survive from Abu, just barely manages to escape, and Dig Life may actually be losing this Cryocopter for no good reason. Is going to fire off a Cryo-Geddon. Will catch, it looks like, just the King Oni. Everything else should be able to escape. The MCV can't be frozen by just a single Cryo-Geddon, and the power of 2 allies on your team is Vodka is going to actually lose all of these buildings if these Dolphins get over here and clear everything out in just a moment. Harvesters go down, refineries go down, even the tier 3 gets eliminated, everything gone, and of course that means no more build radius for Vodka, representing Soviets, but not in that corner of the map, getting kicked out of his expansion by the allied player. And this MCV needs to pack up and get on out of here. This is a lot of Athena Cannons putting a ton of damage. As you can see, that Garage doing a great job of healing the MCV, but it's not enough. Handing off, I think, double veterancy to one of those Athena Cannons, and this could be the single piece that breaks the back of our team in the north. They may not be able to survive having one of their allies get eliminated like this. And I mean, GiantDwarf is still in this game, but without, well, he does have Shogun battleships, so actually he can deal damage to the ground, and as long as he's able to keep this naval yard alive, he can rebuild the MCV. And that could be his ticket back into this game. Tankbuster Surprise also getting dropped down, so he's got a little bit of forces on the ground, and he can put out a lot of damage if he needs to. YuNo going to be moving north with these Wave Force artillery, but of course they don't do much against the Athena Cannon when they're just hanging out and not shooting. Airfield might get targeted down, but no, the Sentry Bomber actually gets eliminated by the Bullfrog as well as that Apollo before the Bullfrog itself goes down. This is a lot of Mirage tanks and Riptides going to be breaking apart Abu's base, although there isn't much here, just a little bit of economy. This still represents thousands and thousands of credits in those ore nodes. And where are the Shogun battleships? They're hanging out over here. It looks like one of them. The other one is a little bit slow on the pickup. Does need to go ahead and get over to the base of GreekGift and start putting some real pressure on GreekGift so that GreekGift either has to respond by pulling back his forces from the assault, or he's going to be trading his own base while killing the base of his opponents. Multi-gunner turrets going down, and a couple of Vindicators going to be making some bombing runs, which is nice, but you're not going to be able to do that fast enough. 3 Vindicators are not going to eliminate these Shogun battleships fast enough. That naval yard, that dry dock rather, doing so much work to keep these Shogun battleships alive. Mirage tanks blasting down the walls, although I don't know that that's really the thing that you're worried about. An aircraft carrier out on the water for Abu, finally getting into this game in a more permanent way. An extra refinery from YuNo, but he may not have anything to build if his war factory goes down. He may have the Tier 3 nanoframe core, or nanotech mainframe, but he won't have an actual war factory to build anything out of. Those high-tech units will be basically worthless. GreekGift getting pushed out of his main base is going to drive his MCV into GiantDwarf's original main base and set up shop there, having beaten back Abu, having beaten back GreekGift as well, or rather GiantDwarf as well. GreekGift continues on, but gets stopped by a Cryogeddon, which will be absorbed by the Aegis shield of these Athena cannons, and that will stop the Cryogeddon in its tracks. Probably the best use case of that Aegis shield is stopping something like that, stopping your extremely expensive army from going down. Although a second Cryogeddon fires off, and this entire army becomes trapped as the Sentry Bomber gets just a couple of bombs off. 2 Athena cannons do survive, but this has weakened the assault by so much, and the rest of them get quickly picked off by Diglife, who's able to mount some kind of a defense, although it may not be a permanent defense, being pressured from both sides. Wave Force artillery from YuNo, and this paltry army on the right side from GreekGift. These Athena cannons having to defend on 2 fronts might be just a little bit too much, and getting forced back by those by the Wave Force artillery. While in the south, Vodka, he's tried to mount a defense, but he has not enough firepower versus all of this Empire. There's too much stuff there, although 2 more Akula subs are getting in on the action, and they may actually just be broken up by this Shogun battleship. 1 goes down immediately, and the second one will go down to the cruisers as the swords of those cruisers cut them up, because, you know, Naginata and a katana, put them together, Naginatana, so, you know, good enough. In the north, our allies have been broken. Diglife and Abu getting a taste of their own medicine as both of their... Oh, I thought maybe the Diglife has been defeated. I thought maybe that Apollo was going to crash onto the airfield and take it down. Goodbye, both of those airfields, as it looks like YuNo, with the combined forces of GreekGift, are going to be able to clear out this base in the north. GiantDwarf still fighting the good fight, but it is going to be a hard thing to do, next to impossible, to come back from this sort of situation. Abu has also been defeated. It is all up to the GiantDwarf, and somehow I just don't think he'll be able to do it. I don't know where this game went wrong for them. They didn't manage to do any critical damage to YuNo. It seemed like this game sort of stalemated for a while, but eventually our team in the south was able to break through. I mean, it really was GreekGift putting on the pressure over here, stopping GiantDwarf from doing anything on land, and then GiantDwarf tried to transition to sea, but was too slow. GiantDwarf, if he had been able to transition to sea a little faster, get up those Shogun battleships, start putting pressure on his opponent a bit faster, then I think he could have done more, and perhaps maybe even... Are they drawing them in for a Desolator airstrike? That is exactly what is happening. Magnetic Singularity and Desolator airstrike. On top of that, some Twin Blades going to be doing a bit of damage, but of course Sea Wings will deal with the Twin Blades quite easily. Goodbye, Twin Blades, even with 2 more showing up. I don't know that that'll be enough, although they do actually start to attack the Sea Wings, so they may actually barely not... Whoa, look at that. With the repair, the heroic veterancy, and the dry dock, that Sea Wing took basically no damage. It was being repaired as fast as 1 Twin Blade could do damage to it. That is nuts how good those dry docks are. Anyways, yeah, I think it was over here. If GiantDwarf had have been able to transition into the... Because look at this. Totally unmatched out on the water. Even after he's basically been beaten out of this game, he's still pressing forward. 4 fully heroic naval units from our Empire player, GiantDwarf, crushing through the Soviet Navy. They were not ready for this. If he had done this 2 minutes earlier, 1 minute earlier, something like that, he probably could have done significant damage to GreekGift, which would have either halted GreekGift's assault, or it would have forced the entire team to try and deal with GiantDwarf while keeping up the pressure on the front lines, which would have been maybe doable, but it would have been a lot more difficult than what they had to do, which is like, you know, YuNo and Vodka were just doing their defending thing. They weren't pressing super hard on their opponent. And then, of course, by the time Abu got broken, GiantDwarf got broken by GreekGift. Oh, Super Reactor apparently went down. By that time, it was kind of too little too late. Like, Abu and GiantDwarf, once both of their bases got broken, then our team in the south had such an advantage in being able to join up as DigLife was trying to defend against GreekGift and defend against YuNo, and that's where it fell apart on the ground. But it all kind of started with GiantDwarf not being able to stop GreekGift. And again, he's in this game, but like, unless he pulls something absolutely insane out of the box, there is essentially no chance. Tanya is here, going to be potentially loading into a sentry bomber and getting dropped somewhere. Like, who even knows? But, you know, whatever. If this is what you're going to try and do. YuNo able to clean up one of GiantDwarf's aircraft carriers, although YuNo going to be losing... Nope, just one? Yeah, just one of those strikers. The other one does barely manage to escape. Apollo's hanging out for GreekGift. Yeah, and that's going to be the Imperial Docks gone. Does call in a little bit of a tank buster surprise, but not a... Oh, it wasn't fully frozen. Oh, he does drop Tanya, but the Ari mini-subs are there. Tanya gets eliminated. So sad. Too bad. It sucks to be you, buddy. But, GreekGift trying to bust out the cool moves, unable to actually make them happen. Twin Blades roaming around the map, looking for some easy kills. And yeah, I mean, a Shogun battleship could technically kill YuNo, Vodka, and GreekGift, but this would have to be one of the biggest throws in all of Red Alert 3 history at this point to lose it at this point. I assume they're literally just looking for what are the structures that still remain on the map. GiantDwarf, sure, maybe they are a resilient person. They've got like a real stick-with-it attitude, but that will do it for them. GG is called, and GiantDwarf will get out of this game. Yeah, that was like it was a stalemate-y kind of game in the middle there, and then it just went south. Abu and GiantDwarf unable to hold off GreekGift, and that basically just dogpiled from that point on. Oh, interesting. Vodka pretty decently ahead on economy compared to everyone else. And real quick, yeah, you know, 50,000 credits over some players, doubling the money of some of the people who left a little bit early, Abu and DigLife, you know, so that makes sense. But yeah, huge income advantage for Vodka, even at the point where those other guys left. You know, DigLife had the second most money when he left, but that's probably 20,000 credits of advantage for Vodka. That will do it for this 3v3. We have got more 3v3 action on the way just after this. Which takes us to Magmageddon, the most classic 3v3 map you ever did see. On the left, making up team number 1 in the north position, this is, as the Purple Soviets, Libra. This is not DDF Libra, this is just Libra, who the last time I cast, I thought it was DDF. But no, it is indeed not. Anyways, as the green allies, this is YuNo, making a return. And in the south, as the Cyan Soviets, this is AlcatrazHD. That is our team on the left. Then heading over to the right side of the map in the south as the Yellow Empire, this is KachkoBard. And in the middle, as the Orange Soviets, this is, moving their MCV, Abu. Making a return as well, but in the north, as the Red Allies, this is Berat. Another 3v3, and looks like some early oil derrick action, but more importantly, some early dog v bear action. Splits from both players, and by splits from both players, I mean just from Berat, as Libra just pulled all of his forces back. Dog takes a little bit of damage, but gets a bark off anyways, and locks down a couple of bears there, but without any additional pressure, there isn't a whole lot of consequence to those early fights. In the south, we got ourselves a couple of Stingrays going to be coming on out from Alcatraz. So Alcatraz going to be potentially putting on pressure directly onto his opponents, and that is what we see right here. Kako going to be taking some damage. Okay, then with Vindicator coming in, yeah, the Vindicator clearing out these Tengus as well. So it's going to be Tengus against Stingrays, Apollos, and Vindicators. Kako under major threat and needing some serious help from their allies. They did manage to get out a super reactor, well, Abu did rather. And Abu is trying to defend his investment with this Tesla coil here. Going to be having to cancel that power plant, which was supposed to body block for that Tesla coil. The build radius has now been shut down as that MCV packs up and goes for the crush. Did those legs just disappear? Like the model for the Stingray is the water, the amphibious model, so the legs just totally disappear. Yeah, that's funny. I've never noticed that before. That's a weird little bug in Red Alert 3. Yeah, that's the model that it loads for the death animation. That's kind of funny. Anyways, expanding out to the water is Libra. Third refinery up and running for YuNo, and the same thing for Alcatraz, who Alcatraz going to be trying to put on some pressure onto the expansion of Kako. And, well, the Bard is going to have another Tesla coil going to be guarding him. This guy is not good at keeping his own stuff up and running. He's really depending on Abu to get out all of these defenses. Abu, on the other hand, going to be setting up 4 refineries relatively quickly, taking a 5th one way out here in the middle of the map. Very aggressive placement there. Berat going to be taking a 3rd refinery and soon a 4th refinery here, I should assume, going directly up with Libra. So it's going to be Allies versus Soviets in the north, and then a little bit of Soviet action in the middle of the map. And, well, I guess it's going to be Allies versus Soviets there as well, but on the reverse direction as Berat runs even more dogs up to the north. He's going to be looking to kill some bears, I guess. Multi-gunner turret and a Tesla coil are now here to keep Kako, the Bard, safe. And, you know, when you are a Bard, you're focused more on storytelling or songs or maybe plays, you know, something like that. You're not focused on the art of war. You're not, you know, telling the stories of war, learning the lessons. You're just an artist trying to make their way in the world, forced to go to war. So, you know, you can understand when he's constantly being bailed out by his buddies, like all artists, as you probably can understand. And, you know, you always have to take a couple of bailouts when you're trying to do something like that, which, of course, I'm mostly just referring to myself. As Libra takes a 4th refinery, or at least will attempt to take a 4th refinery, a couple of hammer tanks are going to be going up against this MCV, but it's going to be going for the crushes. Berat going to be guarding this MCV with those Vindicators, gets the perfect bombs off, saves the MCV from that terror drone, gets the crushes, gets the kills, and that is a great exchange for Berat to have pulled off. Alcatraz once again going to be putting pressure on now Abu directly as he's turned north from attacking Kako down here in the south and trying to put some pressure on his opponent. The Crusher Crane will save these terror drones, or these bullfrogs from those terror drones, just barely. And once again, killing the oil derrick and then moving on to this barracks. The barracks, it looks like, will barely survive as the Twin Blade gets the kill on both of those Stingrays. And, yep, there goes the Stingray. It just pops right to the ground as the legs disappear quite magically indeed. Which brings me to my main point, really, which is someone just ordered Uber Eats and left it at my door, and it wasn't me. So I actually just had a big pause from the game to try and figure out where a Bojangles order came from. So now I have Bojangles order in my kitchen. And, yeah, that's the story of why what seemed like no gap to you means that I have no idea what I was just talking about. I was talking about something, and then I got distracted. This MCV escapes the terror drone, manages to get healed by that Crusher Crane. That power plant still hasn't been repaired. I don't even remember who's playing this game. KachkoBard needs to get that power plant repaired, and it looks like YuNo narrowly escaping with those cryocopters, going to be able to back on out, and those Vindicators coming in, but no Apollos to clean up YuNo's Air Force. Abu now going to be packing along a couple of Apollos. Berat also needs to get some anti-air up and running because YuNo's Air Force is going to be fearsome. Those cryocopters, I mean, we've seen it a lot in 1v1s. Cryocopters allow the allies to be so efficient, and if you, as their opponent, let them get away with 2 or 3 cryocopters without doing something about it, you are in a bad position. Final squadron called in by the Bard and going to be crashing into something. Not sure what he's going for. Oh, he's going for the refinery. It looks like a little bit one on the war factory. Libra out on the water trying to build something to disrupt Berat, but unable to. Vindicators, Twin Blades, Javelin Troopers, everyone joining together as Abu drops his Tier 3 in the north, and in the south, a Dreadnought. I almost said a V4, but that's not quite right. A Dreadnought going to be chasing away the Bard's army. Well, not much of an army. I mean, considering it's up against late game Tier 3 Soviet units, that is not much of an army at all. Abu steps forward with an MCV, and he is he just going to lose his MCV basically for nothing? Berat with a lot of bombing runs, a couple of Vindicators coming in, trying to clean up those Bullfrogs, but this MCV is still under threat, and with Abu only 2 Leech beaming hammer tanks to defend it, although Berat did indeed drop a multi-gunner IFV, or a multi-gunner turret, and the MCV goes down to the satellites as Berat's Apollos watch overhead. And now, Libra can just pull on back Berat, unable to defend Abu's MCV, and the push has been stopped. They've been held back, at least for now. Alcatraz and YuNo going to be joining forces to potentially push north, but this is a lot of infantry. They need to either make a decision to commit to this attack or back off, because this infantry will eat up these V4s. Even the Bullfrogs will go down rather quickly. Even the Guardian tanks getting eliminated so quickly by the infantry of Berat, and now it looks like the V4s maybe even splashing those Guardian tanks a teensy bit as well, and this one Javelin soldier will actually not be targeted by that V4 at all. He will escape for now, while in the south, a couple of Tengus on the left side of this naval yard going to be putting a little bit of damage out onto it, but nothing that an Akula sub can't deal with pretty darn easily. Once again, pushing into the base, it looks like Abu has brought some additional guns literally on this hammer tank, although he does get infected, and that heroic hammer tank is going to go down. Goodbye, heroic hammer tank, handing, I guess, nothing off to these hammer tanks, at least not just yet, as they all didn't get, as none of them got an upgrade there. Looks like a V4 getting eliminated by one of YuNo's Athena cannons. These Guardian tanks, they are crushing forward like they are going over a crowd of infantry, but it's really just Mirage tanks and more allied firepower here. We're driving into the V4s is Berat. That is not a safe way to drive your Guardian tanks. He does manage to push this army back. The Athena cannon gets eliminated. Don't know that he'll be able to push too much further into the base of YuNo, but for now he's making good progress against the army. Now Apocalypse tanks on the front line. Vindicators can come in for the bombing runs, but it's not going to be enough to stop the Apocalypse tanks. You need a little bit more firepower than just those couple of Vindicators. Javelin Troopers getting eliminated by the Peacekeepers of YuNo as he cuts through the infantry army of Abu, and Berat pushing the attack back once again. You have to hand it to Berat. He has been pushing on 2 fronts with Abu in the north and in the south, but they have been unable to make any concrete progress towards kicking either of these guys out of this game. They've held a powerful position here in the middle of the map, constant pressure on their opponents, but unable to make any genuine progress. What is going on? Okay, that is actually Alcatraz's Apocalypse tank. For a second, I thought it was V4s firing almost upon themselves to try and get that Apocalypse tank while it was just turning around and around. Dreadnought out on the water, going to be firing away at this ore refinery. Able to clean that up pretty darn easily, and should be able to finish that off without too much trouble. The Bard is going to have to do something about these Dreadnoughts sooner or later. A little bit of harassment over there with Tengus, but it's going to be the Strikers that are the things here to deal with these Dreadnoughts, although what is he also calling in? Is it balloon bombs? For a second I thought it was going to be Desolator Airstrike. No, it's going to be Final Squadron, which doesn't do very well against a Dreadnought, as it turns out. Both of the refineries are now down in the south. Kako the Bard is getting pushed back. And even one of these fully heroic dreadnoughts going to be putting out a huge amount of damage onto that MCV. And goodbye, MCV. Alcatraz calling attention perhaps to the fact that that he's got that going on. Well, this multi-gunner turret is kind of in the wrong spot. That ended up there a little bit weirdly. The fact that he got a multi-gunner turret that deep into enemy territory is pretty terrifying, as Abu will end up losing that V4, but not just yet. The Vindicator's going to be coming in. Another bombing run against those Bullfrogs, able to clear them up. Apollo's now going to be trading blows and returning to base at the same time. And look at this. Kako the Bard with a sneaky sudden transport. Going to be doing what he can over there in the middle of the map. Not many other prospects for that guy. YuNo has been defeated, going to be handing pretty much everything off to Alcatraz. So now this is going to be a kind of 2v3, but really Kako doesn't have much left in this game. So Berat is now going to be crushing through the middle of the map. YuNo out of this game, and Alcatraz without much of an army here in the middle of the map to actually deal with this allied army as Berat just crushes on forward. Going to be clearing up Alcatraz, cleaning up these refineries, which used to belong to YuNo, but for now, they are no one's. Power plant getting eliminated as well. Abu and Berat may need to turn north to make sure that Libra isn't left to their own devices for too long. You don't want to give them an opportunity to come back in this game. Kako now going to be targeting down harvesters directly with those chopper VXs. And, well, Alcatraz is going to be able to deal with everything out here on the water, even burning up this this dreadnought a little bit here. Definitely a mistake to burn it this long, and just killed himself with firing all of those missiles. I guess that's one way to do it. I don't know what he's doing. But this dreadnought is probably going to be able to finish off that refinery, I guess. This is going to be a difficult defense against Abu and Berat. Alcatraz is going to try and make it happen. Hammer tanks step forward, but they just get eliminated, and it looks like they will be able to snake that Mirage tank gun, but not for long, as once again Berat marches on forward. Cryoblast in the north, going to be freezing a couple of hammer tanks, going to be stopping this assault in its tracks. Libra is making some good progress against the infrastructure of Berat, but is it actually enough? With only these 4 hammer tanks and a handful of bullfrogs to stop all these cryocopters, Berat is absolutely flush with cash. The dude has so much money that's how many cryocopters he's been able to build. And yeah, twin blades are nice, but you really need the MiGs or the bullfrogs to keep them safe from those Apollos, although these Apollos are actually going to get cleaned up pretty darn quickly by those bullfrogs as action explodes all over the map. Vindicators making bombing runs on Yari mini subs, no, against Akula subs, and in the middle of the map, Berat going to step forward and clean up even more of the old base of YuNo, cleaning everything out and stomping everything to the ground as the army of cryocopters heads south to freeze everything for the winter. Reestablishing the super reactor is what Libra is doing up here in the north, and it looks like Abu going to be dropping 2 refineries, or at least a refinery and a reactor, in their opponent's main base. Alcatraz trying to rebuild that airfield, and Berat starting to lose actual production facilities up here in the north, even losing, it looks like, an airfield as these Vindicators are just circling for, I assume, a good reason, but perhaps no reason at all as the Vindicators all get cleaned up there. An IFV rushes forward, but it's not enough to take down these twin blades. Over on the right side of the map, it is more Akula subs actually going toe-to-toe. Alcatraz and Abu going to be trying to super each other to death, use their special abilities to kill the other one just a teensy bit faster as 2 Kirovs head out for Abu across the middle of the map, slowly but surely bringing doom to their opponents and targeting down these airfields. This is a great way for a potential comeback, although it doesn't make use of these 3 cryocopters, 4 Apollos already here out on the field, and this is too bad. I mean, eventually the Apollos will run out of cash, or run out of ammo, but I think he's going to be able to build a new airfield before that happens, and things are certainly looking dire for our team on the left side. Abu with his couple of bullfrogs going to be joining the absolutely impressive army of Berat, who has just run away with the production in this game. even trying to set up a command hub in the middle of his opponent's base, and even if he just uses it for a little bit of vision to fire off his Cryogeddon and try and lock down this section. Oh, the Apollos come in. Nothing actually gets frozen, but the Apollos clear the skies as the Bullfrogs are unable to keep the air forces of Libra safe. 2 Bullfrogs way out here in the middle of nowhere will be getting frozen by those cryocopters. Stingrays from Alcatraz. Whoa, this guy coming all the way back from the beginning of the game. Remember how he was pressuring early on, pressuring the Bard with these same Stingrays. Well, not these same Stingrays, but with Stingrays early on, and now he's doing the same thing now. May need to go ahead and just kill that Stingray by himself. Nope, he does get the Terror Drone anyways. Always nice to grab that Terror Drone. Again, 4 cryocopters just to freeze those two Bullfrogs. And 5 or 6 cryocopters to freeze that 1 Bullfrog there. Terror Drone's going for the Infect, so Alcatraz not giving up. Absolutely putting up a fight, and, well, not those Stingrays so much anymore. And laser painting that 1 Peacekeeper. Although this Peacekeeper may get a kill on a Javelin Soldier, which is always nice if you are that Peacekeeper, but not enough to actually stop that. Libra going to be hunting Harvesters in his allies' old main base. And unfortunately, that Bullfrog does get infected far away from home, so I don't think Libra will be able to stop it. This is a lot of Twin Blades. Where are the Apollos now as these Cryocopters, they're just cannon fodder at this moment. Bullfrog cutting through them one after another. The MCV absorbing damage, but the Twin Blades cleaning everything up. And an Athena Cannon is nice, but this is so many Twin Blades, and they can just go to another part of the map, skate away, and do damage somewhere else. Berat with so much stuff around the map, so many dollar bills in his pocket. He doesn't mind losing a couple of things here or there, but he really needs to mount some kind of offense to clear out this south corner of the map. He needs to do something to stop Alcatraz from causing any more trouble for him. Alcatraz skating around the map with his Twin Blades. These Apollos are now being met with MiGs, so the Apollos go for the Twin Blades, but the MiGs go for the Apollos, and actually Abu, those are his Apollos, or his MiGs, so he will be able to defeat Alcatraz with them. Libra still in this game, albeit barely, just hanging on with one refinery, harvesting slowly, so slowly, nearly depleted on resources. And I think this is going to have to be it pretty darn soon for Alcatraz. YuNo has been survived by Libra and Alcatraz very bravely, fighting on. The Bard wasn't really doing too much at the time of his death, so, you know, the other two guys were doing most of the work in this game. Berat clears the skies, and now will clear the ground as these Bullfrogs get eliminated, I assume? Or they just hang out and get to leave. Natasha from Abu, going to be targeting something down, maybe even taking a little bit of splash damage from a Dreadnought. Athena Cannons and Peacekeepers, the order of the day from Berat. He's going to be knocking on some doors, and oh my gosh, a Twin Blade finds the Natasha and kills her. Very nicely done there by Libra. Gets a little bit of cash back as well, always nice. And Libra is actually re-establishing himself in his own main base. He's got that reactor there to give him a little bit of build radius, and he is going to be taking a sneaky, sneaky expansion. Look at this. Resetting up in his old main base. 5,000 credits left in that ore node, a couple thousand in the other one most likely. And Berat has now turned south. Libra has been defeated. Alcatraz has been defeated, and that will do it for this game. That will do it for game number 2 of this best of 3 of this 3v3 series. We get some more 3v3 action headed your way, and of course, congratulations to Berat and Abu and KachkoBard, who you know, 2 of those guys did a little more than the other one did. But that will do it for this game. Thank you all very much for watching, and we got more 3v3 action coming right up, which kicks us back onto Magmageddon. We're here again and again and again. In the top left-hand corner, I hope you're ready for this. As the Green Empire, it's Xouth. Of course, Xouth providing some pretty fantastic games on this map in the past. In the middle, this is FlodeinTo, the purple allies, and in the south, making up team number 1, this is GreekGift as the red empire. Now on the right side, making up team number 2, this is Saline as the orange empire. As the blue Soviets, it's IsMail. And as the cyan empire, this is Alcatraz. 4 empire players, 1 allies, 1 Soviet. Some players may have actually been playing random, which, you know, can affect that distribution of races a little bit there. But I also know Xouth pretty commonly plays Empire, and, well, actually, I'm not so much sure about the other guys, what they play normally. Team games, sometimes people off-race just for the funs of it. Things are looking pretty normal thus far. A little bit of aggression coming out from GreekGift, as you guys probably saw FlodeinTo dropping some Vindicator bombs on the conscripts of IsMail over here. But not sure that this will really turn into anything, although FlodeinTo making use of this build radius. Actually, this could turn into something big because of the build radius, and FlodeinTo dropping some additional, some multi-gunner turrets. And of course, only 2 players can really do this, the Soviet and the Ally, and in this case, you can't have a bunch of like Tesla coils or multi-gunner turrets on one side versus the other. Tank Busters getting eliminated one after the other. The Vindicators are going to be chased away by Alcatraz's Tengus, and for now, Alcatraz will probably be fine. This Tesla coil got up, the War Factory is up, and the second barracks isn't doing very much. So I don't know that anything else will really come of this. Up in the north, looks like Xouth going to be securing his oil derrick, but it's contested a little bit by Saline. Going to be trying to maybe sneakily grab their opponent's oil derrick. Reactor here to block off that multi-gunner turret from being able to attack this refinery. Very nice little move there by IsMail. Just kind of throwing up some stuff for his buddy to be a part of. Saline going to be jumping inside of this troop transport, the sudden transport, clearing out a bunker or a barracks from his allies' expansion. So we're going to try and keep an eye on that sudden transport. And, you know, it looked like Tank Busters and Imperial Warriors, but maybe he decides to load up something else into it. Multi-gunner turret is still here, still trying to kill off those reactors, still trying to stop IsMail from helping out his ally and from body blocking in that way. Flak cannon going down, so you really got to hand it to IsMail. He's doing a lot of work to help out Alcatraz. He's doing a lot of work to make Alcatraz not die. Alcatraz would be having a much tougher time dealing with all this aggression, dealing with all this pressure. I mean, even just this multi-gunner turret has been a pain for him to deal with. Could even start putting some pressure on that ore refinery. And actually, whoa, 2 sudden transports showing up at just about the same time. Going to be able to snipe a harvester, but then sudden transport and all of those. Oh, he disguised it. His sudden transport, the orange sudden transport, as a red sudden transport. Anyways, everything getting taken out there. GreekGift losing his forces. And he does have a couple of Tengus flying over, so he could go for a big transform and try and trap some of these Tengus. It's going to be tight with the Tank Busters there to provide support, but for now it looks like Alcatraz has stabilized again, partially due to the help of Saline, but mostly due to the help of IsMail, so you got to hand it to IsMail. Once again, Flode sending those Apollos all over the map. We've been seeing him be very active with his allied air forces. Xouth, on the other hand, he's trying to stick it to Saline, make use of the fact that Saline has been helping out their ally in the south, diverting Tengus and resources that way. And actually, someone's grabbing something. Oh, he was grabbing the War Factory. Forcing the sell-off of the War Factory is almost as good as killing it. I mean, in this case, you do get the cash back, but you severely limit your opponent's Tengu production for the next minute or two. And in this case, it may not actually matter too much, although, no, don't want to engage there. Saline made the right call of getting on out of there. And now IsMail turning the tides on GreekGift. Look at this. FlodeinTo going to be dropping a barracks on a multi-gunner turret, trying to help his ally out to take down IsMail's barracks. And IsMail loses the MCV, so his aggression has not gone very well. Keep in mind back here, he's got the Crusher Crane. It's hanging out with the Super Reactor. So that is, of course, how he's able to continue to drop down some additional stuff. This is a poorly thought-out attack. It had a decent idea, but really he would have needed someone else to join him, maybe with some Tengu numbers or even a couple of choppers or strikers. But this has just gone very poorly for IsMail. Losing the MCV, it is annoying. He can survive. He can stick around, as you can see, trying to get a Tesla coil up. And base creeping with barracks. He is slowly but surely trying to create some kind of problem for his opponent. Tengu's our flak cannon going down there, but now the Tesla coil is almost finished. However, with no flak cannon, now the strikers can take down the Tesla coil very easily, and everything else will be dealt with in time. In the north, Xouth, once again, going to be engaging in the Tengu wars. It's going to be point defense drones versus point defense drones, and the numbers, it looks like, are on Salin's side, so even losing that war factory has not put him out of this game. He is still going strong. This is a crazy base creep that IsMail has pulled out of this game. I cannot believe the amount of structures that he has daisy-chained in this way across his opponent's main base, trying to make something happen. So many little particles generated as all of them got broken down one by one. Flode somehow, with a multi-gunner turret in this random position, they've moved their MCV almost onto the right side of the map, almost onto their opponent's side of the map. Xouth grabbing his opponent's oil derrick and going to be making some use of that. FlodeinTo has stepped into Alcatraz's base with that big group of peacekeepers, and now it's going to be Flode and GreekGift joining forces to try and kick Alcatraz out. Now, do keep in mind that IsMail has been pretty much holding his own over the course of this game, but without the MCV, the remainder of this game, he may be a little bit more limited. We'll have to see, because he's only on like those 3 refineries, and that over time could really hurt him. So this could kind of be a 2-1 punch. IsMail and Alcatraz being eliminated pretty much at the same time. There's a big transform from Saline, going to be able to chase away the strikers. Well, also this MCV getting in on the action. Double barracks coming down from IsMail, going to try and clean up all of these peacekeepers and javelin troopers. They're not flak troopers. They have been able to clean everything up. Just a multi-gunner IFV remains, and this attack has been pushed back, but the threat is not gone, at least not just yet. Wave number 2, GreekGift and FlodeinTo once again joining forces. Guardian tanks here to chase away some of these Tengus, but I think the strikers, if they can get into the air, they're going to be the real powerhouse unit to deal with everything that Alcatraz has. GreekGift putting a little bit of pressure on this MCV, but of course one Guardian tank does get crushed right there, and now the tank busters are here, which means they're going to be able to target down that MCV, although for now they've switched targets to the flak cannon, trying to clear that out as the Tengus clear the skies. The Bears get on top of the tank busters, and this is going to be it for the tank busters. No, they do get the MCV! Help of the laser painter! They get the MCV, but ends up being saved, and I just alt-tabbed there. The MCV goes down. The Bears don't manage to save it. So unfortunate there for Alcatraz. And trying to load up stuff into a twin blade. GreekGift takes that out, stops it from being a factor in this game. Tengus and Apollos fighting. These Guardian tanks clearing everything else out. And Alcatraz has been broken. Tengus versus Yari mini-subs, not something you see very often. In this case, Saline is doing a good job of standing strong. The defense is good enough, utilizing both Yari mini-subs and Tengus, the MCV. Everything working in concert to try and keep Xouth away. But in this case, Flode and GreekGift have had executed just a good enough attack. It wasn't the perfect attack. It took a couple of attempts to really work out, but Alcatraz has been kicked out of the game, and IsMail losing another engineer. This guy has lost so many engineers over the course of this game, forcing to sell off a couple of barracks. These guys are going to have to play really smart, really efficient. Xouth with another attack of Tengus, sending his opponent into low power mode, and this Tesla coil is going to be able to chase away at least some of these Tengus, and by that I mean kill them. He will be able to kill a good number of these Tengus before they take it down. And actually, he may be able to get all of the Tengus if he can get a couple more wall segments up, but he can't quite manage to get it. And the Tesla coil does go down right there, just barely. There's the big transform, and it's unfortunate for Saline that they did not stick around with their own Tengus. They could have cleared it out. IsMail has been defeated. Saline has been defeated. And in just about 11 minutes, everything is wrapped up. Some good action there. GreekGift and FlodeinTo really bringing the Double Trouble powerhouse, really working together as a team to crush their opponents. Big mess on the economy front. FlodeinTo, of course, you saw their MCV kind of expanding out to the right side of the map. They created a lot of space, and I think it was just GreekGift's early attacks of Alcatraz left the middle of the map fairly empty. Xouth was attacking Saline, keeping Saline from doing much in the middle of the map, and then FlodeinTo sets up shop, takes a couple of extra expansions, gets out that War Factory, takes up to Tier 2, and just joins together with GreekGift and powerhouse punches Alcatraz right in the face. And IsMail at that point had been spread so thin from trying to help so much for so long that just not a whole lot of power left. That will do it for this 3v3 video. Thank you all very much for watching, and this is Sybert signing out.